So we're going to take another quick look at campaign finance reform. The purpose of campaign finance reform is the idea that if we could control all this money that goes into candidates, that we could maybe get a fairer result, not just have the wealthy and powerful dictate things and break our ideal of individual citizens having power and say in our society. There's been a change over the last several decades from candidates being financed by parties, where just a humble guy ran for office and the party would help provide money, to more individual candidates providing their own money, whether they bring their own money to the table like Mitt Romney or Donald Trump. Very wealthy people, even people like Barack Obama with not a lot of money, was able to raise a tremendous amount of money as an individual. So that's been the shift. Instead of parties providing the money, individual candidates do it. It's expensive to run for office. The average cost, if you're running for the House of Representatives, $500,000. You run for the Senate, it's going to cost you $5 million. That's a lot of money. The people that donate to help provide that money usually have one or two philosophies. Either one, an electoral philosophy. Hey, I like this guy. I want him to win. I think he'd be good for America. Or those who, like my best friend, who's quite a wealthy businessman in the Dominican Republic, he told me he gives equally to both parties. He doesn't care who wins. He just wants access to the winner. Hey, that's the guy that gave me money. So some people give just to gain access to the candidate. So either electoral or access. Some of the reforms that have been done, we talked about in the other video, the amount I can give to an individual as an individual. I can give $2,300, I think it's up to $2,600 now. I can give that much to one candidate, or to a PAC, a political action committee, which is a conglomerate of money that can go to individual candidates. I can give $5,000 in a period of time, about a year, to them. So that keeps me just saying, I'm going to give $75 million to this guy. It's an individual limit. These campaign funds come from different places. There's a chart in your book that shows many come from just small donations, $5, $10 from individuals. Then some individuals give that bigger amount, that $2,000, that $5,000 to go to PACs. The candidates themselves, if they're wealthy, they can take it out of their own pockets. And then again, the political parties still do provide financing for campaigns, and then PACs, these big political action committees that get a lot of money and then parcel it out to candidates. So that's where the source of funds comes from. So in a previous podcast, we showed some of the advances that have been made in trying to stop wrong ways of getting money to candidates. And the final one in 2010 was Citizens United, whereas the previous McCain-Feingold and other acts had said that corporations and unions couldn't, voice their opinions on candidates. The Supreme Court said, hey, why not? This is America. Corporations are like individuals. Individuals have the right to give their money where they want to. Why can't corporations do that? So super PACs, that decision basically set the course for where the Supreme Court stands now, because the most recent decision that deals with campaign finance reform, the McCutcheon decision of 2014, whereas the McCain-Feingold previously had set limits on how much voters could donate to candidates in aggregate. Okay, I can give $2,300 to one candidate and $2,600 to another, $2,600. How much can I give total overall? They set a limit on that. Well, McCutcheon was a guy who was giving to different candidates, and he purposely gave over what the McCain-Feingold Act had said on the aggregate because he wanted to challenge the law, and he took it, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And ultimately, Chief Justice Roberts wrote in the legal opinion of the court, the government may no more restrict how many candidates or causes a donor may support than it may tell a newspaper how many candidates it may endorse. So Roberts says we shouldn't limit the aggregate that one person could give. And with him, Scalia, Kennedy, and Alito also voted for that, and they said that violates somebody's First Amendment right. If they want to give to 100 candidates at the maximum, why can't they? Justice Thomas provided his own concurrence, even though he voted with the majority. He also wrote his own opinion, and he said that he argued that all contribution limits are unconstitutional. So that probably sets the current attitude and the tone of the Supreme Court. The idea is you've got a First Amendment right, and so ultimately this helps the rich and it hurts the poor, because if you got more money to deal with, hey, it's your First Amendment right not just to say what you want to say and believe what you want to believe, but also give to whoever you want to as much as you want to. That should be your right. So basically right now, campaign finance is basically dead. Taking Thomas's idea, all limits are unconstitutional. The First Amendment wins.